Hello, everyone. Welcome to Canadian music in the 80s and 90s and more the A part, making it Canadian. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe. This is a, I'm getting a lot of honors lately, and this is another big honor. Welcome, Bif Naked, to my wonderful show. I can't believe you're doing this. I appreciate you taking the time. How are you this evening or today?
The honor is all mine. I'm doing great. How are you? We were just talking about the weather. I know that um, they say that this is going to be the coldest summer we'll ever have.
Hard to believe, but
I know. Yeah, it sounds kind of like a weird thing to say, but yeah, it's hot everywhere.
yeah, it
So
seems
yeah, it's
to
a
be
hot summer.
anyway.
Yeah.
Um, Anyway, where do I start? Let's start. You have a new album out. It came out in June, Champion. Congratulations. And it's been 15 years since you put out a new album.
Yeah, I just haven't felt like it really and truly. We tour um really all year round. We tour every summer though, quite extensively, and we're always writing. But I just never really felt that much like recording until about 2020, um, 2019, 2020, and of course the pandemic happened,
Right.
and I just didn't feel like putting out a record. I felt like there were more important things going on in the world.
Sure.
The world didn't need a Bif Naked record at that time. And we put out a single, Jim, like we were talking about in 2020. And then
Mhm.
2021 rolled around, and then we put out Broke Into Your Car. And then in 2022, we put out Roller Dome. And definitely it was time. It was definitely time for us to really focus and get a record out. So I couldn't be happier than to finally get Champion out. It's been such a long process. It seems like it's been a real, almost like a labor of love, but finally getting it out is, for me anyway, it's been a dream come true.
No, it's great. One of the things I really like to focus on my YouTube channel and group is that a lot of these great, I don't know, I guess I don't like to put you in a category like retro or whatever, but it's nice to see these artists still doing music today. Like, I mean, Honeymoon Suite just put a new album out, Lee Aaron just put a new album out.
Mhm.
And I like the fact that you guys are still putting out new music. And I'm really
Yeah,
curious to hear new music from you guys because I mean the old stuff's great, don't get me wrong, but I still like the fact that you're out there doing it.
yeah.
um, what was the process like for putting this together? Like, was it a long time putting it together, or?
It was just, I guess we were just really deliberate about it. I always love writing love songs. It's usually about longing or loss or heartache, and this
Mhm.
album's definitely a big album about heartache. Um, so it was time. I always say I'm overdue for a heartbreak, and so it was definitely well timed for that. And the process of writing, it's just it's very creative. I love writing with Doug. We've been writing together for 20 years now, and with Doug and Peter, it felt very familiar. It's very much like like when we wrote Tango Shoes, or
Yeah.
some of the other songs that we've written together. So it felt very good.
In terms of recording, what have you jumped on board with the modern ways of recording, or are you still like getting into a studio and getting everybody together kind of thing, or?
We've always kind of done it the same way. I mean, we've always recorded our own records, and we've always had our own recording equipment, probably since the Purge record.
Yeah.
So we still do things the same way, and to have the opportunity to go and do new things. We just finished putting out the 25-year anniversary for Ibificus, for
Yeah.
example. So we just have, for the first time, done things like an Atmos mix with our friends at Iguana, and that was something that we're exploring along with doing vinyl. And we're working with Adam Percy to do remixes and to do dance mixes, and that's something that I love. I love doing that. We did that on the first round when we did the Ibificus back in the 90s, and to do the Spaceman dance remix, if you remember.
I do.
And the
Yeah,
Lucky remix was very exciting. And so to do that again on Champion, there's 3 dance remixes that we did with Adam Percy, including the True Believers remix and the March of the Freaks remix. So it's really fun. And now to do those things in production and recording is, I feel anyway, it's better than ever. It's better than ever before.
and you still like getting out and doing it live?
I prefer it. I've always been a performer. I'm a performer first. I hate the studio.
Yeah.
I love performing. Give me a stage any day. And the studio, it always is, I get really anxious in the studio. I love writing. I'm a lyricist. I could write poetry and sad,
Right.
sad songs all day long. But the studio for me is always, I'm really, because you want to do a good job. And as a vocalist, you get fatigued, your voice gets sore, all these other
Right.
things. But I love performing. I think that I will, look to all my heroes like Tina Turner, and perform, in heels and a miniskirt well into my 80s. Knock on wood. I hope,
Yeah.
hopefully I'll still be stage diving. I don't know. We'll see.
No, it's great to see you still out there doing it, and I hope you keep doing it long. You got some dates coming up, so I see you just played a show, was it last night in North York at the bowl at Sobe Stadium by the looks, was that?
Yeah, it was
Um,
amazing. It was amazing. And it was very nostalgic for us to play with our friends in the Tea Party and the Headstones and Treble Charger. I mean, it was just like, we did the same thing last summer. We played with those guys and we play with them again in Alberta in August. So it's fun, for us it's like summer camp, doing shows like that. And so that's a lot of fun. And summer seems to always be the time that we do get the chance to play those big shows. Maybe it's Canada, everybody goes and does the tours when it's nice weather,
yeah,
but that's okay. We love it.
probably not fun in the winter, but
That's what we
especially
do when
crowd.
we're young. Yeah,
But I mean, those guys you played with, I mean, you probably crossed paths with them several times over the years, I'm betting.
we play with them all the time.
Yeah. You played with quite a array of artists over the years, like played shows with even international artists. What are some of the ones that stand out to you?
Oh gosh, I mean, we've been very lucky over the years being on lots of different tours, like Warp Tour and stuff like that, all over, North America,
Mhm.
and playing with all our hero Roadrunner bands in Europe and stuff like that. And it's fun. You get to know other bands and you develop long relationships with them. And so touring is, it's not for everybody,
No,
certainly, but once you get it in your blood and in your bones, you can never shake it. It's part of your life.
no, it's awesome. Great to see you still doing it because I mean, we've lost quite a few of our favorite bands over the years. Like, I mean, there's no more Spirit of the West, there's no more Tragically Hip or Rush or,
Right. Yeah.
and it's, it's kind of tough not to have guys like that. It's a level of Canadianness I don't think that exists anymore. But when we see like you, the Tea Party, and Treble Charger still out there doing it, it's great to, it brings back a lot of memories, and
Yeah.
it's great to see you guys still doing it.
Thanks. Yeah. For us too. It's something that I hope to always be doing.
Oh, for sure. And like I said, it's great that you still do. It's great you still make new music. That's great you're still writing. Because I find the older some of the artists get, the better the music is. Like I think the songwriting matures obviously because you change over the years, and uh,
Hmm.
that's what I think anyway. The songwriting gets even better over
I
the
hope
years.
so.
I just wish I'm trying to get more people to open up and give the newer music a chance rather than just stick with all the old stuff. And that's what I really like to push here is that new
That's
music
great.
is,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
new. Speaking of that, I want to go back. When did you get where was your first real influence? When did music really start influencing you? Like how old were you and when did you get really started in it?
I think that my parents always listened to music, and obviously most of us probably got introduced to music in our
Mhm.
home, in our childhood homes and stuff like that. But I didn't really get into a band until I was in college.
Yeah,
I had no real desire to be in a band until then. I was a theater kid, and it was the stuff that I was listening to was the stuff all the kids that I knew were listening to, and it was like, it was punk music in Winnipeg.
right.
What everyone else liked was Personality Crisis and the Unwanted and all these bands from Winnipeg, that were really, impressing us and that we really loved at that time.
Was that your main influence at first when you were listening to music? Were you just into the punk scene, or were there other stuff you really got you into it as well?
Well, I think there was everything that we loved was on the radio too. I mean, stuff like Madonna and the Culture Club, of course, Duran Duran, Iron Maiden. I mean, everything that was popular at that time, we loved it too. And it was just, I've always been a fan of everything, and I still am to this day. I've never heard a song that I didn't like. I like everything from country to death metal,
Yeah.
to classical music. There's nothing I don't like.
And is that the same with when you play music? Will you play anything? Like, I mean, obviously you do dance mixes of some of your stuff. Like, is there nothing you wouldn't try?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
So we might hear a country album one day.
Well, I always say that some of my songs, especially the ballads, and you can hear that
Yeah.
in the acoustic record. Every song starts out as a ballad because we write on acoustic guitar
Okay.
with vocal. And so when you hear some of the songs broken down into their acoustic original versions, they just really sound like country ballads.
There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
Yeah,
Uh, no, it's just I guess that's part of the writing process, right? You start down bare basics and you kind of add more to it, and whatever comes out, right? So,
that's right. Yeah, it always seems to change in the production.
so you got some gigs coming up this summer. I see a few on the list here. You're playing up at Casino Rama. You're going back out to Vancouver in September, and March 2025. You're in my hometown in Mississauga, where I grew up.
Oh yeah, and they keep adding dates all the time, and I love having that looking forward and seeing what's coming up. We've been doing a documentary for the last 3 years, and
Oh, okay.
so we don't even know where that's going to take us yet. There's still an editing for that, so we'll be doing an extensive travel date with a lot of tours surrounding the documentary also. So it's going to be pretty exciting.
How long has that been? You said 3 years they've been working on that now, or something?
So far.
And it's still in progress.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's still
Any idea
going.
what a tentative date might be for that to come out?
I don't know. I don't know. They're hoping to have it for hopefully the spring of 25.
Yeah, I really enjoy the documentaries. There's been some good documentaries on some great Canadian bands lately. I just watched the Nickelback one recently.
Yes,
Uh,
I've heard great things about it.
I mean, there was one on Spirit of the West as well, one of my favorite bands. CBC did a really good one on Doug and the Slugs, which I really enjoyed. I don't know if you saw that.
Yes.
Being out in Vancouver as long as you were, you might have gotten into that. But yeah, there's so many bands I think you could do documentaries on that would be absolutely fantastic. You being one of them.
Absolutely. Yeah, hope
Um,
so.
and then I keep hearing that CFNY is going to be a documentary about CFNY coming out pretty soon. Um,
Amazing.
so I know Alan Cross has done some interviews for that, just as everybody has. But no, it's just that's probably some of my favorite thing about music nowadays, learning more about these people and bands and stuff like that. So I'm curious to see yours. I think it would be great.
Thank you. I hope so.
Yeah, be awesome. So any chance they'll extend the tour a little bit? Will you do some other dates? Like if it
Oh,
comes up?
definitely. Yeah, they're still booking them.
Yeah, well, hopefully you can come out to the Maritimes and
Oh, I hope so. Yeah, we love coming out to the Maritimes, and definitely we would like to screen the documentary out there, of course. So I'm sure that yeah, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick,
yeah.
PEI, and of course up in Newfoundland. Yeah.
I know they screened a documentary here about Much Music recently. I don't know if you had a chance to see it when it was touring across the country. But how integral was Much Music in your career in Canada?
Oh, absolutely. It was so important. It was so important. I probably wouldn't be here without them.
Yeah, I really kind of I like the way they were just so much different than MTV, and the way they really did support the Canadian artists in the 80s and the 90s. Like, I mean, if you were Canadian and you had a video, they'd play it. And
Absolutely. Yeah. They were so supportive. I owe them a lot.
they mix the Canadian artists in with all the top international artists. So like it made me think you guys are all superstars too, just like they are. So
Yeah,
and
they were amazing.
and that was, I guess that was the point. But no, it was a good documentary. I really appreciate what Much did for Canadian talent back then. It's why I'm a fan. I saw all this stuff on Much Music, and it's music I probably wouldn't have get exposed to today if because they really
Right.
did help a lot to do that.
Yeah.
There's
Absolutely.
at least I think so anyway. So you don't have any inclinations of quitting at all. You're gonna keep doing what you do for years to come, I hope.
As long as I can.
That's awesome. It's good to hear.
Yeah.
Anyway, congratulations on the new album. It's great.
Thank
Um,
you so much.
the videos look amazing. The video for Jim is just incredible. Can you
Thank
go
you.
into a bit of the story about that song? Because the video seems kind of serious message there. I don't know what was.
Oh, thanks. That song is about betrayal. I think that
Mhm.
you can insert the name, any name for the name of Jim.
Sure,
Everyone has been betrayed in a lot of ways.
sure.
And we just really wanted to start the record with that song. It was the first single. It was very deliberate that it was the first single. And it's also a song that is sonically very different. It was kind of cinematic, and we wanted a cinematic video for it. And I think that we really captured it in a way. It was, something you don't really, it's something unexpected, not just from me as an artist, but also, from our writing, our musical collaboration and stuff. So we're very proud of it.
Yeah, it's a very well done video. It's a good video to watch. I suggest I'm going to put a link to it in the or the description of the videos for anyone who wants to watch it. So
Thank you.
yeah, it'd be awesome. Anyway, I can't thank you enough for joining me.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to get you on my show or my podcast. It's not even a podcast, it's a YouTube channel, but um I appreciate you giving the time to talk to someone like myself. It's much appreciated.
It's my pleasure. It's really nice meeting you and being on your show.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Have a have a good tour. I hope everything works out.
Thank you. See you soon.
Yep.